I'm Jill Galloway. I'm an artist educator at the National Portrait Gallery and a full-time artist with Jill Galloway Studio. In today's Drawn to Figures lesson, we're talking about the neck and the shoulders. Now, there are three big masses that make up the human body: the head, the rib cage, and the pelvis. All movement occurs between those three masses. So the neck controls the head movement. How you place the head onto the neck and then the neck onto the shoulders is a really important lesson. Today I'm going to talk about several tips and some ideas you should be thinking about as you start to put the neck and the shoulders into your figure drawing practice. Okay, let's get started. The only supplies you'll need for today's lesson are sketch paper or just regular copy paper, a pencil, and probably an eraser. Let's start with the neck. In the simplest form, the neck is a cylinder, like a soup can. This is how you draw a cylinder. First, there's an oval or round shape at the top. Find the center of that oval and drop a line straight down. This is the center line. Now draw another oval at the bottom that's equal in size. Next, add the sides. Now that's a cylinder. By the way, this is an easy way to make anything you draw in cylinder form symmetrical or equal on both sides. In the neck shape, the cylinder is tilted forward. So to tilt your cylinder, you just adjust the size of the circle or the oval and adjust how far apart they are from each other. Now on the front of the cylinder at the bottom is the pit of the neck. The pit of the neck is an important spot to note in figure drawing because it marks the balance of the pose. The pit of your neck is also a great source for measuring because generally your center of balance falls beneath the pit of your neck. So if I'm leaning on my right leg, then the pit of my neck is right over my right leg. As I move to the left, and then my pit of my neck is over my left leg. So I know to weight that foot. I can just be in the middle balanced and my pit of my neck's in the middle. The pit of the neck is also the top of the sternum, which shows the angle of the rib cage. On the back of the neck, on the bottom of the cylinder, that marks the top of the cervical spine. That's that bump on the back of your neck. Keep in mind, the bony structure of the neck is a continuation of the spine. This is also an important point because it's the middle of your shoulders. You should always consider where that bump is when you're drawing the shoulders, even if you can't see it. The action of the head is controlled by the neck. There's a big muscle on the side of the neck that comes from behind your ear, and it moves forward and down diagonally, running to the sternum and the clavicle. This is an important point to mark because you'll definitely see it in your figure drawing. The top of the shoulders and rib cage are a wedge. This shape comes from your skeleton or your rib cage. Technically, it's the scapula in the back circling around to the clavicles in the front. They make the top of the wedge. From the front view, the shoulder and rib cage masses can be seen as a trapezoid. You can see on the top there's an up plane on the front of the trapezoid and a down plane on the back. The neck rests or comes out of that front plane. In the back, you can think about that plane more like a men's work suit. See how there's a back panel cut to cover up that top of the wedge? Once I have the neck and shoulders lined up correctly, I'd like to add the arms by first marking the shoulder joint with a circle. Even if I can't see one of the shoulders, I still put that circle in. Sometimes you have to draw through your subject, meaning see through it like it's invisible, to make sure everything's lining up correctly. Now here's a few things to remember. Draw through the neck when you're attaching those shoulders. Also, the neck is longer in the front than it is in the back. We talked about a little bit of anatomy today, and it's not important that you know every single bone or muscle in the human figure to be a figure artist. It is important to kind of understand what's happening on the inside though, because it directly affects what's happening on the outside, which is true of all parts of figure drawing. The big shapes and the big forms are how you start though, and then it's layers of learning. You add more and more as you go. Okay, I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something. As always, we would love to see what you've come up with in your drawing. Please post your work on social media with the hashtag MyMPG so we can all check it out. Okay, we'll see you next time.